Yeah, hey, week 1 and the Bills lose. But it wasn't all bad. Vince, what'd you think?
No, it wasn't bad at all. I mean, I'm going to be optimistic. I don't want to be negative. The bottom line is, you're right, they lost. They have to learn how to win these games. You know, I always keep saying that in football, you know, they say it's 7 points for a touchdown, but it's really only one touchdown. And the score basically yesterday was 3.5 to 3. You know, I mean,
Sure.
They won by 2 points. It's like a field goal, like a half of a touchdown is a field goal. So when it comes right down to it, one play was the difference yesterday. One play, and you could sit there and say, oh, if they would have only done this and only done that, they would have won the game. But they have to do it. If they, and there has to be, like when we were 13-3 with Jim Kelly and the boys, there has to be a point where we say, no matter what happens in the game, no matter how good or bad we play, we're going to win at the end. And that's how New England feels right now. You know, they felt as though they should have won, and they did whatever it took to win. And it doesn't matter if you win 2-0 or 21-3. It matters whether you win. But it's better than getting beat 49 to what are they averaging? 40 points a game for the last 20 games?
Right.
You know.
Well, so, and that's what Belichick does. They got the ball last. And I remember sitting there watching. I was like, man, EJ's sitting there going back and forth, and I'm like, he's never going to get back out there. He's not going to get a chance to even. I mean,
as soon as they punted, I knew it was all over. It was over. And I said they're going to do the same thing to us that we did last year. And I don't know if you remember, but last year when we kicked that field goal right at the very, you know, at the end, what's his name? Freddie Jackson had this long run, and then they had to review it at the goal line to see if he went in or not. And everybody was hoping that he went in. And I was saying, I hope he didn't go in so we can kneel on it 3 times and run out the clock and not give Brady back the ball. And I thought that's what what we should have done when they, if you remember our first timeout at the end of the half, they got a first down and we called timeout. Now it's first down. They have 3 plays to run the clock out, and we only have 2 more timeouts. So and they're like maybe a long 40 at that point, but if they get 10 more yards, it's a 35-yard field goal, and that's what he ended up kicking. What I would have done if I was a defensive coordinator, I would have said, here, 11 guys on the line of scrimmage. We're either going to get them for a loss, you guys tackle the ball, or they're going to get 1 or 2 yards. If they get more than that, they get 5 or 10 yards like they did. They got 10 yards, don't tackle them. Right. Let them go down and score. And now we'll get the ball back with a minute left, down by 6 points, and we could have a minute to come down and try to get a touchdown, rather than with 4 seconds left to try to get a touchdown.
Well, you know, I mean, a lot of people were, you know, the biggest issue I think that I've seen on the internet and some of the fanboys out there, you know, talking about the bad play calling for one, even though it always looks bad when the guys aren't executing, so I don't know about that.
Well, yeah, you're right. Marv Levy used to say, when it works, I'm a genius. When it doesn't work, I'm an idiot. So I don't think play calling itself, but I think what you're referring to, 5 minutes left, going to the no huddle. Well. We need a 12-play drive for 4 of those minutes, and at least 2 to 3 first downs, and the game is over. If we did the same drive that they did, they got the ball with just under 5 minutes. They had a 12-play drive. He was like 8 for 8. Brady in that drive, when some of them were just missed. It was just incredible how he's putting those balls in there. And they sucked out the whole clock, and they kicked the field goal. If we would have done that, kicked a field goal and sucked out the whole clock, and then punted with like a minute left or 30 seconds left, and then forced them to get a touchdown, that's the win. So Marone says, I was trying to score. I wanted to score. Well, he didn't even get a first down. He should have been trying to get 3 first downs.
Well, you know what? If you think about it, if we stamp the ball with 25 seconds left, that's 3 more times. It's basically another minute. They still...
No,
hypothetically, they would have had enough time to get the field goal.
It didn't matter if you didn't get the first down.
Yeah, if you didn't get the first down, you got
to get 2 or 3 first downs for a win. 4 first downs, they would never see the clock.
And what did he say when he first?
If you got 1 first down, right? You ran the ball 3 times and you got a first down. You got 45 seconds. Now you're like 3 minutes. Now that first down gives you 3 more times. Now it's under the 2-minute warning. And maybe if you get that next first down, they start using their timeouts. So 2 to 3, 4 first downs, the game's over. 2 for sure, it puts them way further deeper in the zone, and you got a chance of winning. You're not so much, points are nice there. The long drive was more important.
Well, one of the things that the new coach has been talking about was accountability, and frankly, the drop by Stevie at 6 minutes, and whenever we had the ball next 4.5 minutes. you know, and just like you said before, if the play calling, if it starts to work, if the guys execute, then they're accountable. And I think, you know, it sends a message that's going to be good for the long run. Might not have been good on Sunday, but we stuck to our guns, and he says, hey, you know what? You catch that pass, maybe you throw it in the right spot a little better. 'Cause I know a lot of people, some people are saying, oh, maybe EJ didn't put it in the right spot. I don't know. Hits your hands, you catch the ball. But meanwhile, I think there was a lot of good to come from it, and we can focus on the end, but I think we should focus on some of the, hey, let's focus on some of the more positive things, because I'm looking forward to next week as a very winnable game against Carolina, and EJ Manuel looked very good. He throws the ball very nice, and he didn't screw it up. He didn't make a dumb
let's look at his positive plays. His first completion was a beautiful play that got called back on a stupid play to hands to the head to Wood, and it was a beautiful just perfect spot and just a great pass. And to me, that was really a ticky-tack penalty, but they called it. Was just brutal, because when they were showing the replays, I was looking at the guard next to him, or the tackle next to him, and thinking that was the person that they called the penalty on, and I saw the New England guy with the hands to the face. I'm like, where's the penalty? Then I saw the guy they were calling. So two guys had their hands to the face on the same thing, and it's like a ticky-tack call.
Yeah, well,
you know, but that happened. But let's go to the positive. It was a perfect spiral. Stevie's touchdown. What a nice touch. I mean, that was a touch pass.
He like shot a basketball into Stevie's hand.
Into a small area.
Perfect.
He was totally covered. I mean, it was the only person that could catch it. And then the other touchdown to Woods.
He was wide open.
He was wide open, but he zipped it in there, and there's no question that it was a touchdown pass. And when you watched the spiral, it was just, and you watched his body, it was like a flick of his wrist. He didn't, like, if that was Fitzpatrick, it would have been his whole entire body.
It's like a pitch, like the last pitch in the eighth inning.
And he just flicked it, and it was zipped there. There was no time for the defender to react. Granted, it was wide open, but it was his first touchdown pass. And it was, to me, I watched the replays, and I just said, that's just
and I've seen wide open get screwed up before. I mean, if you watch enough Bills games, you never take anything for granted.
So those were positives.
And some things worked against them. Well, and I guess we'll move to the defensive side. Obviously, we're missing Gilmore. It showed up. If we had Gilmore and McKelvin, that would have been great.
McKelvin had a good game.
He did, but imagine if he wasn't the only guy out there.
Ron Brooks got hurt. He broke his foot.
And he did make a good play in the one run. Did you see he made the one good play in the run?
Well,
Brooks ran up and tackled the guy. And, you know, so it is what it is. That Williams looked good at safety, and that new middle linebacker, he came to play. He played every single down. 91 snaps, he played every one.
And he led the team in tackles with 4 other guys that were tied with 9.
Sure, he had 9. Well, Leonard got a lot, which isn't good. Your safety makes 9 tackles. That's never good. But needless to say, he was there. And I thought the line played pretty well, too.
Brady threw the ball like 40 sometimes.
Yeah, 41 or 42 times.
So you're going to get a lot of tackles by your defensive backs.
And Manny Lawson, the new player, looked good. He was everywhere. And even though some people I've seen on the internet as well, Mario didn't do this, he was non-existent, I thought he did pretty well. And Brady got rid of the ball when he was coming at him like a maniac, so it's hard to say. You got a good quarterback. Remember Marino all the time, we could never get him.
Yeah.
Bruce is the best player we've ever had, and I only might have sacked him once in his whole career because he just, he was lightning at, getting the ball.
But if you look at the stats, they had over 400 total yards. They had 150 yards rushing. And I think that's the key still, and that's my biggest issue is they have to learn how to stop the run. Brady's going to get his passes, but you got to stop the run.
Sure.
And even that 10-yard run at the end of the game that allowed them to
murders
do it, just murders you. At that point, again, I would have let him score, but you got to stop him at the line, and you got to do a better job against the run. So. And Brady, I mean, it was so nice that he didn't have Wes Welker, and you could see how he struggled. The rookie wide receivers that he had, and even there was one they got a field goal at the end where the two of the Boston players hit each other,
and they're yelling.
That's clearly a fact. You had New England on the ropes. You had them early. They still don't have a chemistry with their quarterback. It was our chance to win, and we didn't win. Hopefully they'll never get the chemistry up there in Boston with these guys. And Brady's 36 years old, and he's getting older, hopefully. But I tell you, on that last drive, him and Amendola. What do you think about this? How about Amendola's the one that's beating you. Just pretend it's like a punt and put 2 guys on him and don't let him off the line. Yeah,
because the other guys you're able to beat with just man-on-man.
Single coverage.
Or just light them up.
And rush the hell after him. Yeah, and they're going to try to hit the guy. Get him at the line. Even if just the first guy hits him, and double team.
And we were aggressive, but I mean, what can you do? But I mean, looking forward to next week. You know, I mean,
where did Carolina play last week?
Carolina played.
Was it Seattle?
No, yeah, they played Seattle and they lost. It was they actually didn't do too bad. It was about 12-7 defensive game. Their defense is very good.
And that's
though.
what I'm afraid of because Seattle lit us up last year.
Well, you know what? It's their run
defense
that's good. Their front seven. They have probably the best young middle linebacker in the game, the Luke Kuechly, and their front seven as a whole.
Luke Kuechly so bad.
But their defensive backs aren't good. They're going to force us to pass again. So you know what? We're going to have to say. We're going to have to take the reins off, as they like to say, and let them throw it deep, let them throw it a lot.
People were saying today about that. We get the ball, 5 minutes left, and we run the ball into the line when they got 11 guys on the line. They were daring us to throw it. And Spiller had nothing to run. And Spiller had a rough day. I like Fred Jackson, what a beautiful day he had. But Spiller seems to me like he wasn't hitting the holes. He was just trying to get there too quick. He wasn't waiting and didn't see the holes. It was almost like he got to the defensive line too quick.
I think a running back's psyche can be shattered quickly if he has you make that dumb fumble in the beginning. I'm not saying you can't bounce back I'm not saying you can't bounce back from it or that you shouldn't, but I'm sure it's difficult and he's had a rough off season, so I'd like to see him come back next week. It's going to be tough next week, but I think we're going to have to air it out. And that's going to have to be.
Absolutely. That Marquise Goodwin hurt his hand. He looks like he's out. I was hoping he'd have a couple of bombs. That T.J. Graham, he looked like he was open, and he underthrew one, and the other, and it almost was intercepted, but it bounced.
Oh yeah.
And then the other one he threw out of bounds where nobody can catch. On those bombs, if you're watching EJ, throw them over the receiver's head and let him run up to him, and make it so nobody can catch it except for the receiver. Don't underthrow them anymore. Overthrow those.
And I'm gonna text Stevie Johnson right now and give him Fred Blitnikoff's number for the stick 'em.
Yeah, what's it called?
Stick 'em all over.
The fundamentals: don't run before you catch the ball. Catch the ball and
just
then
catch
run.
the ball.
Just catch the ball.
Because it would have been first down.
Yeah,
and we might have got because it takes one positive play to make 10 more, but one or two negative plays and you're not going to have nothing.
And absolutely.
And all you're going to have is a big 0 in the win column, and that's all it's going to be.
Well, welcome back. We'll see you next week. And hope we have a great season. I'm looking forward to a long, prosperous time with E.J. Manuel. It's his first game. Brady, they were showing
I want to buy a
stats.
jersey. I'd like to buy a jersey.
He had 14 years, 3 Super Bowls, all these MVPs, 8 All-Stars.
21 and 2.
And then they showed Manuel first start. But you know what? The other guys at the end of his career. Here's the guy at the beginning of his career. Hopefully we'll see a lot of what Brady did in Manuel in the years to come.
Yep, I'm ready for it. Go Bills.
Go Bills. I want to wear my Sabres shirt until they win.